Champion Life TV. We are so glad that you tuned in today. There's a great message in store, so let's go straight to Pastor Eddie.
So what does that look like? Hebrews 11:39 says this: all these people we have mentioned. Well, who did it mention? If you look at the chapters before, it talks about the people that had ran in the race before we ran, who have deserve a prize, but they can't receive the prize because the race is not over. What does that look like? It talks about Noah and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Esther, Ruth. What is that really saying? It's saying that they are in the same... Now here's the key I want you to get. They're not in a different race. The Bible's not saying that we run a race like them. It's not saying, oh, this is exactly like they ran. Run like they run. The Bible says, no, you're not in a race like them. You're in the race with them. Just like I was on a team, and when I ran my leg, my part was over. Now I watched them run their leg. And it took a while from the time I ran to the time the race was finished. So it literally looks something like this. Noah takes off, it says in Hebrews. He passes the baton. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Esther, Ruth, Sarah. They're all in the race. Even Mary, Jesus. I want you to track with me for a minute. You ever got to play or participate in some kind of event or some kind of activity that you felt honored to be a part of it? You know, something that was like, wow, that was pretty cool that I got to do that. A few weeks ago, when we had Judah Smith here. He preached here a few weeks ago, and we also had Jim Reeves, who preached here. Judah Smith, who is a great friend, and is also a young pastor who has one of the largest youth ministries in America. It's somewhere close to 3,000. In fact, they had a conference last week, and there was close to 5,000 teenagers there. Who in their right mind would be the pastor of 5,000 teenagers? But I just respect and honor that, and I call him a great friend. And so he was here, and Jim Reeve, he spoke on Sunday, and Jim Reeve was here and spoke to our leaders on Monday. So on Monday, they said, hey, let's play golf. So I was like, well, that'd be great. And then I asked Dan Anderson, I said, well, can we play at the Vintage? And Dan's a pro, and man, I felt honored to be there because they both shot 68s, which is a pretty good score. 68? Yeah. And, yeah, it's okay. Jim Reeve, just got a little church of 20,000 people in his church. Judah, Dan, a golf pro. You know, I show up there, and I just feel honored to be there. I mean, I'm just honored to be there with my little 83. Yeah. You know what that feels like to me? To be included with great people, to just participate in something. It feels a little bit like being chosen to participate in what the Bible calls a race. And not just any race. We are part of the race, not just any race, the race that Jesus Christ himself ran a leg in. Now, this isn't stuff I'm making up. I'm not preaching this because it preaches good. It's actually Bible. How many of you know it helps when the pastor can actually preach Bible? And it says here, they can't receive the prize at the end of the race until we finish the race. Which means what? Jesus Christ, and we heard it last week, said, it is finished. What was he saying? I'm passing the baton. I've finished my course, I have run my race. That's exactly what he said. So he passes the baton, and a few more generations down the line, it's in our hands today. Can you imagine? And the Bible uses this language. And I think it's chapter 12, verse 1. A few verses later, it says this. Since then, we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. Who are the witnesses? It's referring back to this list right here. It's saying, since then. What's it saying? I think these guys are a lot like me. From the aspect, they've run their leg, they break into the middle, and they're watching. I mean, they put it all on the line. They've ran their course well. I mean, the Apostle Paul fought a good fight, the Bible says. He's finished his course. He passes the baton. The Bible calls them a cloud of witnesses. It's kind of like a great sports event. That day when we ran in our race, then all of us took our place in the stands and we continued to watch the race. Can you imagine, though, Jesus Christ himself, the Son of God, he's running in not just any race, he's running in the same race we're running. And we show up, hey man, I don't know if I want to run. You know, we're messing around with the baton. Isn't that a sobering thought? Doesn't that mess with your head just a little bit? That you could affect the outcome of the Lord's running a race? That you and I could do that? If that doesn't blow you away, think about it like this. That he's trusted to hand the baton to you and I. That doesn't mess with your mind. I don't know what will. Here's the thought I want going on in your head, though, right at this moment. We're not in a race like these guys. Our race doesn't resemble the race these guys ran. No, the Bible says that they're in the same race. They're on the same team we're on. They've passed the baton. The baton has been passed to us. Now the Bible says that they are sitting there, standing there, watching us run the race. Why? Because they couldn't receive the prize until we finished.
We want to invite you to join us at Champion Life Church at any one of our 3 Sunday services. First, we have our 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. services. We also have our later and louder service at 7 p.m. We are located at 72745 Highway 111. We are across from the Westfield Shopping Town behind McDonald's. We hope you come and see us soon. You can also find us on the web at www.championlifechurch.com.